Tonight's episode of our nation's sports show is dedicated to the greatest Karen of all time. Tonight, we continue our coverage of this year's NBA playoffs. Also tonight, we bring to you other breaking news from around the National Football League, as this past week, some players were breaking the law, doing things illegal. And this Thursday, live from Kansas City, the home of the Super Bowl champion Chiefs, it is the 2023 NFL Draft. It's showtime.
From the gridiron to the court, talking all that is sport, breaking down the latest news, scores, and more. Welcome to our Nation Sports Show.
All right, here we go, folks. We are live. What is up, everybody? It is our Nation Sports Show. We are here. We are live once again. Happy Tuesday, everybody. And man, we got a lot to talk about this week, as we always do. We got the NBA playoffs going on, the NHL playoffs. We got some big news in the NFL concerning, as our lovely friend Stephen Wyand said, the greatest Karen of all time. By the way, it's more than likely his, mine, and okay, everybody's opinion, but whatever. No, but seriously, we're going to talk about the whole thing with Aaron Rodgers again. We're going to talk about some other news, including, of course, the big news, 2 players suspended for a while for some issues inside, technically outside, but we'll get into that. Plus, we got a little bit of other news to take care of as well. But before we do all that, we got to, of course, tell you how to follow us. Of course, you can follow us on Twitter at Owen_Sports Show, Facebook.com/OurNationSportsShow, and Instagram.com/OurNationSportsShow. You can also follow us here on the YouTube channel, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. You know, keep an eye on our videos. We go live every Tuesday at this exact time. Also, don't forget to check out the Nation's Corner, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, same time as we are every Saturday on YouTube.com/Nation's Corner. Follow them on their social medias as well. Also, don't check out their show, because you never know what's going to happen when you have Front Row, Tony Justice, Mogrovian Mike, and the lovely Debhausen on the show. Anything is possible, and anything can and will happen. So check it out there on Saturdays. And also don't forget to check out my crew, 2 Sweet Cosplay, across all socials at 2 Sweet Cosplay. Our next event appearance will be Anime Central. We will be doing our annual WWE Cosplay Day / 2 Sweet Cosplay photo shoot on May 21st. Time to be announced, so keep an eye on our socials on that for more information. Now that we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and introduce the crew for tonight. Joining us this week after taking the night off last week due to some family illness, he's back with us. The guy who's struggling more than Steph, Clay, and Draymond Green put together, unfortunately, in these playoffs. But like them, he's bouncing back. And he's here this week with us, and that is Kevin Rory. What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Good to be back on the show. And yep, just like my Warriors, just always gonna bounce back, and that's what I'm doing here.
Absolutely, man. And then, of course, my heavy metal brother from North Carolina, man himself, the man, the myth, the legend, the one, the only, Big Stephen Wyand. What's up, brother? You are muted, good sir. Nobody can hear you. In fact, this is the
Wish
best you've
Aaron
ever done
Rodgers
in
was
your life.
muted. I wish Aaron Rodgers was muted.
There I am. There I
Yeah.
am. Hello. Anyways, yeah, I'm so excited to be on the show with you guys here tonight talking about our favorite Karen in the world because he finally got his wish granted. And yeah, we're going to be getting into that tonight and also talking about the NBA postseason. And man, oh man, Kevin's Warriors have bounced back and they're back in the series against Sacramento. And a couple of teams that were heavily favored teams are on the brink of elimination. And with that being said, let's go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely. We got a lot to talk about. Just like you said, we're gonna get into the NBA playoffs. We're gonna get into a lot of that stuff. But first, we got to get into some NFL news. And of course, the biggest news of the day is that it's all set now. The compensation has finally been made. And now Aaron Rodgers is officially a New York Jet. After the past month or two of the two teams trying to find some sort of compensation that's right between each other, it's officially done now. Aaron Rodgers is now a New York Jet. The Jets will get Aaron Rodgers, pick number 15, and a 2023 fifth-round pick, number 170, while the Packers get pick number 13, a 2023 second-round pick at number 42, a sixth-round pick at number 207, and a conditional 2024 second-round pick that becomes a first if Rodgers plays 65% of the plays this season. So that's all the details. Finally, the trade compensation is done. The Jets didn't have to give up much in order to get Aaron Rodgers, which is a good get for them. And now the Jordan Love era begins in Green Bay. So now Jordan Love will officially take over the team, with of course Matt LaFleur as his coach. So new era for Green Bay is going to be starting, and of course Aaron Rodgers will be playing alongside Odell Beckham Jr., Adam Lazard, and whoever else they decide to bring on board. So I want to get you guys' opinion on it. It's finally all settled. All the drama is over. All the BS has ended, and now it's official. He's now officially a Jet. What are you guys' thoughts? Are you glad it's finally over and it's all the dust is settled? And do you think the Jets made the right decision on the Jets and the Packers made the right call on the picks they gave away?
I really like this trade for the Jets for the most part because they didn't give up a whole lot. You know, it's very smart how they kept the first pick, and if Rodgers does well and plays the majority of the snaps, they only give up the second pick, and good for them. And then obviously Green Bay would take the first pick, and all that stuff, and I really think that the Jets really did really well with this. Green Bay did well with this because they got multiple picks out of this, so in the end, I think both teams win, but in actuality, we are so glad. And I know I'm speaking for all of us here on the show, including Randy and Joey as well, is that we are so glad that this Aaron Rodgers has finally gotten his wish granted. But unfortunately for him, he is going to get the absolutely crap kicked out of him in the AFC East division.
Yes. Yeah, I got to add on to that, Stephen. I think everybody's glad this shit is over with. This saga's over with. The both teams were satisfied. Obviously, the Packers are going to add on a next first round pick, obviously, for next year. The Jets didn't technically give up too much because technically they literally gave up a pick swap of two. They literally dropped two picks. Literally didn't give up a first round. They still got a first round, but from the Packers, 2 spots down. Their target that they're going to draft, and I know we're going to talk about it with the draft, is probably still going to be available at that spot. So the Jets really didn't give up much. But Rodgers to want to go to the Jets, I get it. The Jets are a young, good team, up and coming, on the rise, great coaching, great young stars, got great rookie class last year. But my problem with that is, like Steven said, the division, bro. Like, you're literally going against the the heavyweight Bills, who's going to whoop your ass twice. You're going against if Tua can stay healthy. We've seen what the Dolphins are with Mike McDaniel at the Ram, with Jalen Ramsey now added to that defense. Bradley Chubb a full year on that defense. Then you got Tyreek Hill, the Cheetah, and Jalen Waddle. Aaron Rodgers, and then not just the AFC East, but the conference as a whole. I mean, like, I'm just going to name the list of quarterbacks that are in this conference, and half of them's going to miss the playoffs because of how stacked this conference is. Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson. I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg, not to mention Tua, not to mention all those guys in the AFC conference. And I think the Packers, the Jets are still going to be third in that AFC East. I'm sorry. I just don't, as long as Tua's healthy, I think it's going to be the Dolphins and the Bills, and then the Jets are going to compete. They're going to make some noise, but poor Patriots are going to be left dead in the water. Belichick's going to be having his damn blood pressure is going to be skewered after this. But like I said, I just think the Packers are relieved to get them the fuck out of here, and all I got to see is sayonara Brett Favre, the second coming of him, because he's following the same footsteps as Brett Favre. Let me guess, next year he's going to be a Minnesota Viking.
And now the only thing that's missing is the dick pic and Crocs.
Yep.
Oh, God help us. We saw enough of Aaron Rodgers' feet at that promo a couple years ago. We don't need to see any more of it now. Thank you to Max Caster for making me think of that. Scissor me. Anyways, I agree with you 100%. I agree that it was a smart move for the Jets because they didn't have to give up much. They got a first-round pick out of it. Plus, they were able to get A-Rod. And now with him as part of the team, and like you said, he got two of his wish list players on there too now, OBJ and Adam Lazard. So he gets to play with two people that he specifically requested that he wanted on their team. So you got to think about that. Aaron Rodgers got what he wanted, and
no, actually, OBJ went to the Ravens.
Yep.
Yes. However, like I said, though, I got to add on to it real quick. Aaron Rodgers, I just still don't think that's going to put the Jets elevated, because let's look at last year. Aaron Rodgers was the reason they couldn't get past the Detroit Lions to sneak into the playoffs. Wasn't his offensive line. They protected him well. It wasn't Aaron Jones. He ran the ball well. It wasn't their defense. They held the Lions to like 20 points. The problem was Aaron Rodgers throwing erratic throws, getting picked off, and just got flat out outplayed by Jared Goff. Now, what's going to happen this year when he's got to actually go against the big dogs? And I know Aaron Rodgers has done it in the past, but let's be honest. He's at that digression stage where he's not what he was in them MVP years. We've seen people fall off the planet when it comes to their play as they age. And Aaron Rodgers, I think, like Max Kellerman said about Brady years ago, which he was clearly wrong, but I think this is Aaron Rodgers' cliff. I think last year was his cliff, and he's on his way down. I don't see him getting better. I do see a lot of Breece Hall. I hope they would run the ball, because if you're asking a 40-year-old grandpa who looks like he steals catalytic converters for a living to go throw the ball 50 times, the Jets might get spanked by the Dolphins and the Bills twice in a year.
Can't talk bad about Nicolas Cage from Con Air. What are you talking about? But yeah, it's good. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, because look, like you said, Aaron Rodgers is not the Aaron Rodgers we knew. He's not the sharpshooter that came in and killed every team that, faced him when it came to the offensive side of the ball. He knew how to cut through defenses like a hot knife through butter back then. Now the defenses have figured him out, and now they're picking him off. I mean, and you look at, and you mentioned Joe Burrow, and we're going to get to Joe Burrow in a second, because there was a report that came out about Joe Burrow today. Good news for the Good news for Cincinnati, but we'll get into that in a second. Rodgers, it's not the same Aaron Rodgers we come to know. It's not the Aaron Rodgers that, like I said, was one of the best quarterbacks in the entire NFL, far not. This is unfortunately an advanced stage Aaron Rodgers. This is not the Aaron Rodgers who's making mistakes. Like you said, Christian Watson did great last year. Adam Lazard, great last year, but that's because a quarterback is only as good as the players he surrounds himself with. You could have the most elite quarterback, you can have the greatest quarterback of all time. But if your offensive line sucks and your receivers can't get open because they don't know how to run routes or get out deep, then it's no good. It's like having a shitty quarterback and great receivers. You have that instead of, a quarterback in advanced years with his body, with great receivers like a Christian Watson, who's the elite. And then you've got Adam Lazard and you've got Randall Cobb. Even at his advanced stage, Randall Cobb was still doing pretty well. But, this is, like I said, this is a whole different Aaron Rodgers. This isn't the Aaron Rodgers we knew. And I don't know how it's going to play out with the Jets. For his sake, I hope he does well. I'm just glad he's out of the NFC North, so now the Bears have a chance to actually win the division.
Everybody is now
Lord
fair
knows
game.
the Vikings. Because Lord knows the Lions, unfortunately, are not going to cut close, and the fucking Vikings will self-destruct with Kirk Cousins. But that's a whole different story for a whole nother time. But
this is Chicago's prime focus now. Let's win the division now, because they have all of the pieces now in the draft that they want. That they can go after. They can get some more defensive players, young players. They can get some young receivers and all that stuff to help out Justin Fields. This is Chicago's, my opinion, this is their division to lose, because Detroit, I think, will be right there with them. The Vikings, I don't think the Vikings are going to be where they were last year, because there's rumors floating around that maybe Dalvin Cook could be cut. Obviously, Adam Thielen is gone. I mean, Kirk Cousins is not prime time. He's not he's not good in a big spot. Aaron Rodgers, when he was in that division, he owned that division, and he was so good for so many years, but Father Time, as we all know, is undefeated. And and now that Rodgers is finally out of the NFC North, this gives every other team a chance to win. And now this division is the most wide open division in the National Football League, especially for the year 2023.
Yeah, definitely. I mentioned Joe Burrow, and the news I wanted to talk about with Joe Burrow was the fact that Joe Burrow, that the Cincinnati Bengals have exercised his fifth-year option for the 2024 season today, saying in a statement, this is a mechanical step along the way as they continue working with Burrow and his representatives towards securing his long-term future as a Bengal.
Good. He deserves it. Absolutely deserves it.
Yep, couldn't agree more. The other big news that I want to get into, outside of the Aaron Rodgers situation is, of course, which you briefly mentioned in the intro, Stephen, and that is the suspension of two NFL players for basically indefinitely through the conclusion of the 2023 season. That is Quintez Cephas and CJ Moore of the Detroit Lions or formerly the Detroit Lions. They're and Shaka Toney of the Commanders are suspended indefinitely through at least the conclusion of the 2023 season. But then it was corrected that I think it was one. No. Yeah, they're all suspended, and then the Lions released both Cephas and CJ Moore after the NFL suspended them. So they're now they're free agents. But it looks like for the next season they are going to be sitting at home because they were betting on NFL games during the season. And according to the statement, it says right here, the NFL players are allowed to place bets on non-NFL games like NBA, the UFC, college games, etc. They are prohibited to do it while at an NFL facility, including the locker room, a team flight, team hotel, or the stadium itself. So they were betting on games while they were on team grounds, which was a big no-no. Hence why they were suspended indefinitely, and more than likely will miss the rest of the season, and why Cephas and CJ Moore both got released from the Lions. Anybody's thoughts on this?
Kev, you go.
All I gotta say is Jameson Williams was one of them, and he's such a good prospect that came out of Alabama. He was highly sought after, even after the ACL tear. However, it's going to show up in the stat book that he now has more bets placed than he has receptions in his young career. He has one reception for 41 yards and a touchdown, and about five bets placed with $0 in parlay money won. So, congratulations, and a 6-game suspension, by the way. But you can't do this, dude. We seen they mean business by that. We've seen that with Calvin Ridley, who's trying to rebuild his character and his name in Jacksonville this coming up season, which I'm glad he's going to be able to do. But we know the league does not play about the suspensions. They might play about sexual harassment with Deshaun Watson, but they don't play about betting and sports betting in the NFL. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson. Yeah, let's not mention that, because when it comes to that situation, there's no happy endings.
No.
That was a bad joke, I know. Leave me alone. Go away. It's early yet. But yeah, I do agree. It was. Why would you do that on team grounds? You got to know the rules when you go into this type of league. You got to know the rules. Why are you betting on games in team areas, like the hotel, like the freaking stadium, practicing facilities, stadium, on the bus, whatever? You do that on your own time. You don't do that. You do that on your own time outside of team practice or outside of whatever. I don't know why you're doing it during team time. Well, you really should be doing it on your own. That makes no fucking sense. You should know the rules when you go into the league to not do stuff like this. But then again, you know what you do. But hey, maybe since they lost that bet, maybe they put $100 in free bet in bet money. Now they can get the $1,000 back in bonus bets from FanDuel.com. Just put in FanDuel.com/Jericho. But anyways,
one other thing, I just want to guess. I'm not gonna say I don't want to guess the matter of what they betted, but I just want to get. I about guarantee they betted on when Aaron Rodgers was going to come out of his freaking dark retreat. They might have betted on that. Say,
right?
What, to see how long he stays in?
Yeah, they were like, "Hey, we just beat this guy's ass. Let's see how long we sent him in the dark for."
Yeah, it's just stupid, because it's common practice when you work in sports, better. It's like NBA players betting on games while they're taking a break at practice, or an MMA fighter betting on games while he's getting weighed in for his fight. That's better.
Yeah,
It's just common sense, but. What do we know? We're just fans watching this shit. It's not like we make common sense around here. We know Steven does it, but that's a whole different story. Let's go ahead and move
real quick, I will say, as far as if you're gonna gamble and bet on things, that's fine, but don't do it inside an NFL facility. You know the rules when you come into this league.
Smack him in the nose. You're gonna get smacked in the nose with a newspaper.
Yep.
Basically. Speaking of people getting their 5th-year options picked up, Justin Jefferson got his 5th-year option picked up by the Vikings.
Well, I would hope so, because if not, that means they would have had to extend him 1 year earlier, which that's going to be probably the richest receiver contract in the NFL to date.
Exactly. Let's see. Also, real quick, the Allen Robinson trade is now official. Yep. Now he is officially a member of the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers get Robinson and a 7th round pick, number 251. The Rams got a 7th round pick at 234.
Well, this isn't going to work well.
And the Rams will pay $10.25 million of Robinson's salary, while the Steelers will pay the remaining $5 million.
Yeah, the Rams are just desperate to get people to fuck up out of there. They're willing to pay contracts. They're willing to pay Bobby Wagner his release contract. They're willing to pay Allen Robinson. They're willing to pay what's that defensive end, Leonard Floyd. They're trying to pay his contract just to get them all out of LA.
In other news, the Eagles have hired Matt Patricia as their senior defensive assistant.
Oh boy.
Yep. Let's see. Anything else real quick? Oh yeah, the unfortunate passing of NFL Pro Football Hall of Famer Dave Wilcox, passing away at the age of 80. So we send our condolences to his family and friends. Also, former Falcons wide receiver Olamide Zaccheaus is signing with the Eagles per the Katz brothers. Oh, and I didn't realize this. I missed this. Apparently, after the last hit he took, Tua Tagovailoa was considering retirement. And he said he learned how to fall or learned how to fail. No, learn how to fall.
What are you in wrestling?
That's what I was getting ready to say. What? Oh my God, yeah, he knows how to fall.
Yeah, go ahead, Cactus Jack.
He said he briefly mulled walking away from football in a conversation with his wife, but ultimately chose not to.
Okay.
You better stay up healthy, sir.
The only thing I'll say is he better stay upright, because if he's not, he's gonna have to retire. Because
just imagine if Tua was in the position of Mick Foley taking all them 15 unprotected chair shots in the head. He would be knocked unconscious for real. I'm just glad he ain't got to do that.
Be a pile of goo inside of his skull.
Yeah,
he look like Play-Doh.
He's gonna stand up and he's gonna go, he's hardcore. He's hardcore.
His brains are scrambled like eggs.
And of course, we don't want that for Tua.
I'm glad he's going to come back out, and I pray he actually sustains a good season this year and a long-term career. I'm hoping for the best. I don't want to see him go down like he did on Thursday Night Football.
No, that was terrible.
That was ugly.
We're hoping for the best for him. We're hoping for the best for DeMar Hamlin as well. Hopefully,
the fact that they're both coming back and they're both playing next year, like, that's crazy.
Yes, and in fact, I was about to just mention that because I don't know if it got talked about. DeMar Hamlin has.
We talked about that last week when.
Okay, I'm about to say that's pretty awesome news.
It's amazing how, if he didn't want to take another snap on the football field, he didn't have to. But the fact that he loves the game of professional football, I mean, he has the determination and the willpower to continue to play despite what happened to him back on January the 2nd. I mean, it was the most surreal thing that I think we have all experienced as sports fans, because that's never happened. Not one player has stopped the league in its tracks, but Hamlin did that. But kudos to the medical staff that saved his life, and just, I pray that his success in the National Football League continues beyond, and especially with Tua, because these are two great young athletes. And when Tua is healthy, he's a dangerous quarterback. And last year, for the first 6 weeks or so, he was a dangerous quarterback. I mean, he was throwing touchdowns left and right, and then, the injury started to mount, especially with that ugly injury against Cincinnati on Thursday Night Football. I mean, it was just a scary scene, and the fact that he was able to continue for the majority of the season. Then he went down with the injuries at the end to keep him out. But I can only just think, if Tua had been healthy, Buffalo would have went home, early thanks to Miami, just because Miami had their number in that game against Buffalo the week before Christmas. And I don't know, knowing, that Tua is going to be back, for a full season. I think that he is going to have another good season with the Dolphins. I think that he's going to still put up stellar numbers. It's just a matter of fact, can he stay healthy? The offensive line has to do their job and protect him.
Yeah, I agree 100%. They got to do their job and protect him. Outside of, let's see, real quick, also, right here, Louisiana Lafayette wide receiver draft prospect Michael Jefferson, who was hit by a drunk driver on Easter night, was released from the hospital last week. He's expected to miss the season, but doctors believe he should be able to play in 2024.
That is scary right there. Ooh.
Oklahoma University unveiled a statue of Kyler Murray.
Oh my God.
What?
Yeah, he's sitting in his chair with a TV playing Call of Duty.
Oh my damn.
No, I'm actually being serious. No, because he's an ex-Oklahoma Sooner.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense.
Yeah,
but that would be funny. That would be funny. Hey, it's a statue of Kyler Murray. Doing what? No, he's playing Call of Duty.
Yeah.
They'd been better off putting a Jalen Hurts statue up, because of 1 year Jalen Hurts went to Oklahoma, he was better than Kyler Murray.
Yep.
And speaking of that, I just found something funny I want to bring up real quick. And speaking of Kyler Murray, he got picked at number 1 in the 2018 draft or 2019 draft. Nick Bosa went number 2. Well, when Nick Bosa met with the Cardinals in his pre-draft interview, he looked them dead in their face and said, "Hey, I heard you guys wanted the little quarterback, but if you get the little quarterback, I'm going to haunt y'all the rest of your life." And now Cliff Kingsbury's fired and the GM's fired, so that came to fruition.
Yeah, Kyler Murray is something else. That man, unfortunately, he's got more hits at he's got more targets at Call of Duty than he does actually on the football field.
I'm just trying to see something. I want to see him stand next to Kevin Hart side by side. I just want to see how short this guy really is.
How tall is he?
I think he's listed 5'11", and I'm pretty sure he's about 5'9". He's about my height. There ain't no way.
Oh my!
He runs like a toddler just stole their parents' cell phone, taking off around the kitchen with it.
Oh Lord in heaven. Anyways, moving on. Running back Sean Tucker, a projected mid-round pick who did not work out for teams at the Combine, had his pro day at Syracuse today, which was yesterday. Tucker weighed in at 209 pounds, measured 5'9.5", jumped 38 inches in a vertical and 29 bench press reps. Let's see what else. Real quick here before we move on. Panthers Pro Bowl pass rusher Brian Burns underwent surgery on a fracture in his right ankle last Wednesday. Burns is expected to recover in time for training camp, with the exception he will return with no limitations for the upcoming season.
Interesting.
And there have been apparently some trade talks involving Trey Lance from the 49ers.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
Kevin comes back on in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I don't know about that. I mean, yeah.
Damn it, Kevin, you made me a liar. But yeah, I don't know about that one. It says it says right here, it hasn't been extremely active, and it's not like we put it out there like, hey, we're taking offensive trade, call 1-800 to. That's not been the process. It hasn't been that substantive, and we're focused. as in Trey, on his ability to compete and play an integral role on this team. But
because my thing is like you have to have a backup, especially knowing Purdy's going to be out. We don't know how long Purdy's going to be out. Like it's supposed to be 6-7 months, but he could be out for 10-12 months. He could be out for the whole season, and you have to have a backup in place because Garoppolo was gone to Vegas, and even though Trey Lance hasn't played a full season with San Francisco, he needs to be there because if Trey Lance is there, he can be there as a backup.
let's see here. Also, Steven, real quick here. I just realized something, and that is this: that with Aaron Rodgers now being the quarterback for the New York Jets, good old Zach Wilson is going to have more time to hunt him some cougars.
Yes. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He's going to have all the free time in the world to do some hunting.
Who's that?
Zach Wilson.
Oh my God.
I said now that Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback for the Jets, I just realized Zach Wilson's going to have more time to hunt some cougars.
Might try to see who Aaron Rodgers is dating at this point and say, hey, she might be old enough to be my mom's friend. Who's your girlfriend, Aaron Rodgers? Hey, Ron.
Oh, and also too, Ezra. Oh, I just did a David Greca. Damn it. I wasn't even trying. But anyways, Ezra said as that Trey Lance there's rumors that he could be traded from San Francisco, and I'm like, I don't know about that because
they actually during the pre-draft interviews and stuff with the general managers, John Lynch just disclosed that basically what was said was teams know that Brock Purdy's probably the starter, so teams have been calling John Lynch, but John Lynch said it ain't like we went out there and said, hey, call this number to trade for Trey Lance, call us. No, he said, I listen to anything, but I said, I'm Trey Lance is going to be a part of this team because if you can't tell, we need 5 quarterbacks on the fucking roster. So we got 3 right now. Brock Purdy, whenever he comes back, Trey Lance and Sam Darnold, who I imagine Sam Darnold, honestly, around the right system, he might actually end out playing a pretty key piece to this quarterback room. So I don't envision anybody. And they also asked John Lynch about, well, what about Brandon Ayuk? He said, I understand we can't pay everybody, but I don't envision trading him either. I'm listening to everything. Then they asked him, here's a funny one. They said, well, what about Nick Bosa? Are you listening to offers? He said, no, that door is dead bolted shut and locked, and it ain't never going to even come open. I'm not listening to shit. And that's a smart man. You don't listen to trade offers for your defensive player of the year.
Yeah.
No.
Let's see. Any comments in the chat? Nothing except William Gyron. What's up, buddy? Outside of that, oh yeah. I find this pretty. Oh, here it is. On the show, the 33rd team on Facebook, Mark Trestman listed his top 7 quarterbacks.
Oh.
He said that CJ Stroud will go number 1. With Bryce Young going number 2. Hooker at 3. Richardson at 4. Number 7 is Will Levis. I can see Kevin hurting.
This makes my skin crawl. Listen. Okay, I'm going to just say this, and I'm going to leave it like this. Okay, 2 weeks ago, I thought C.J. Stroud was the guy because he's the most prorated, by the way, number 5 is Jake Haener, not Jake Hager. By the way, I do love this hat. Number 6, Dorian Thompson-Robinson of UCLA. Okay. See, now he's down the board, but here's my thing. In the draft, scouting and stuff is included and all this stuff. Okay, but here's my thing. I will say Will Levis might be the second best pro-ready quarterback to go because of the system Kentucky ran was a pro offense style system. But I would have said C.J. Stroud number 1, but I'm actually I'm going to flip-flop here because there's a test these quarterbacks take in the combine. I don't know if you know, it's the cognitive test, and it's stuff about how your football IQ is. And they said CJ Stroud scored of those, and may he rest in peace, but they said he scored the same as Dwayne Haskins. And Dwayne Haskins scored a pretty bad level, and that's not good. However, they said Bryce Young scored up to the level of a Joe Burrow and Josh Allen. So that's what they're looking like. Well, he's got a better IQ. Oh, by the way, last year, Brock Purdy scored also around that level of a Joe Burrow. And you can obviously see that on the field this year. So that's what teams are looking at. Like, okay, well, these guys that got these high cognitive test results are pretty damn good off the jump. And also, I want to say this while we're on the draft subject. I was also heard that Bryce Young canceled all other meetings, which in years past, that basically means Carolina looked at him and said, we're taking you. So he canceled all these other meetings. The only other quarterback to do that was Trevor Lawrence, and we knew he was going number one. So I believe Carolina had officially made him their projection before even going on the board. So, but yeah, Bryce Young will be my number one. However, I say CJ Stroud will be two, just because, his cognitive test is not there, but he is pro ready. Like, we've seen him do horrible things to that Georgia defense in the BCS playoffs. So, and another thing is, only thing about Anthony Richardson I got to say is he is the best athlete in the entire draft, no doubt. But he is a work in progress. He is a project, a building quarterback, someone you have to actually develop. And that's what turns these bad teams off, because these bad teams obviously don't know how to develop quarterbacks. So, and then my number 4 has got to be Will Levis, because like I said, he's the most pro ready, or the second most pro ready. The only thing is his age. A lot of teams don't want to draft a quarterback that is like 24 years old, because that's their prime right there. They want to get a quarterback 21, 22 years old so they can have a longer prime and a longer tenured with the team. And
Right.
that brings my other one, Hendon Hooker. That's where that problem lies there, number 5, because he's 26 years old, 25 years old. That's pretty freaking old for a college athlete. And he's coming off an ACL tear. So his stock just plummeted, and he might go early second round, and he might have a good couple years. I just don't see him being a top pick. And that's why Stetson Bennett, as good as he has been for Georgia, why he's not in that ranking, because he's 26, 27 years old. Like, his prime was in college. No college wants a quarterback with that age. As smart as he may be, this is not going to work out. He might go in the third round, maybe San Francisco, someone to get an extra smart guy in the quarterback room who can not look like Josh Johnson out there in the championship game, or maybe someone like Tampa Bay who desperately needs a quarterback to get Baker the fuck out of there. Someone like that who's just not. It's not a big. Ain't nobody gonna take a big risk on him. What I'm saying.
Yeah,
but that's
right.
That's my quarterbacks in order for this draft.
Yeah, I can definitely see where you might have a problem with Trestman's picks. But then again, Trestman also failed as a coach too, so that makes sense as well. I hate
Pretty
that
much.
guy. He's on the same level as Matt Nagy with me, by the way.
Yeah, remember Matt Nagy traded up one spot to get
Oh, my skin crawls just thinking of it.
Yeah, he traded with us to get that one pick. What's his name? What's the boy's name? Ezra.
What's his name? The quarterback?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Damn.
Trubisky, right?
Yeah, Mitchell Trubisky. And that was the same draft as a Patrick Mahomes and a Deshaun Watson and a Josh Allen. Oh, man.
Chicago got so desperate in that draft in 2017. They were like, oh, shit, we need a quarterback. Oh, fuck it, we're going to go with Trubisky.
Yeah, Matt Nagy, if he ever come out with his college quarterback list, I'm going to look at him like, I can't take this shit serious. This is like a toddler made this list.
Oh, it was garbage. The fact that you traded up to get him.
One spot.
And San Francisco was not going to go with a quarterback.
No, they were going D-line all the way. Oh.
Now let's move on from that topic before I decide to throw up on the floor. Because the name Matt Nagy is like fucking saying Voldemort or Beetlejuice 3 times. I don't want to say it. Let's move on to the NBA. And there's a lot to talk about here. That's for sure. And let's get into some news notes real quick. And one of the big stories is the fact Joel Embiid is out with the right knee sprain.
Whew.
Oh man,
That's
He
tough.
said optimism he could be ready to return as soon as early next week.
they
So there's
better
some-
be glad that they swept Brooklyn because
Get that rest.
he cannot stay healthy.
No.
Yeah, and unfortunately that hurts. Also, let's see other news in here. Also, we can't forget about John Morant just came back from the injured wrist that he suffered, and we'll get into these games. But I'm just getting into the news notes. Also, injury wise, Giannis is still out.
No, Giannis returned last
He
night.
returned last night.
Oh, he did
Yeah,
return.
he played. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
triple-double.
Good. Okay. Good news for the Bucks. Too bad I still hate Milwaukee. That's just me being a bitter Bulls fan, but whatever. Other news notes. Nick Nurse has been fired as the Raptors coach.
Well, it was a good
Oh.
run.
Yeah, good run.
It's
But
the-
It's to no surprise because let me just say this real quick.
No
Remember Dwayne Casey won Coach of the Year for the Raptors in 2019 and
Yep.
was fired the very next year. So
Yep.
it doesn't surprise me with that organization.
They better be thankful that he got him a championship against Golden State.
He better be thankful Kawhi got him a championship.
Yep.
And Kevin Durant being hurt got him a championship with Golden State, not Dwayne Casey.
Yep.
Oh, and the man who took his place, Ime Udoka. Or no, Ime Udoka actually went
No, he went to Houston.
to
Yeah.
Houston. Yes, he became the Houston Rockets head coach, and of course, this came after he was fired from the Celtics after he was found to have an inappropriate workplace relationship.
Shit. Well, he picked the wrong place because them clubs in Houston. Ask James Harden. He might get fired before midseason. Come on, come on, man. You picked the wrong place. You should have went to damn Charlotte. You should have just went to be head coach in Charlotte. What the hell? Them clubs in Houston's gonna get him caught up again. Oh boy.
We should call this Urban Meyer syndrome.
Oh boy, they're all catching it.
Indeed.
Yes. Also, the Atlanta Hawks player DeJounte Murray has been suspended for inappropriate contact and verbally abusing a game official.
Wow.
So he will not
Can't
play
do
tonight when the Hawks face the Celtics tonight.
Gentleman sweep in the Garden. They just gonna push him out the way.
Yep, pretty much.
Atlanta they just don't belong. I mean,
I don't know what it is too, because it's just I think it's an
Does
organization
belong.
thing.
Right here also let's talk about Dylan the Villain Brooks and the fact that he got a flagrant 2 foul and ejected from the game on game 3 on Saturday night on LeBron James. He hit him in the groin with his hand.
Okay, you know what? I want to cut you off right there with that. I just got normally I'm gonna actually say that was not warranted because that really was a basketball play. But you know what they say? Don't write checks with your mouth that your ass can't cash. And by him writing all these checks and running his mouth, any kind of contact is going to be made to look like it was purpose. But
Yep.
I can watch the play and realize he was just trying to go for the ball. LeBron made a quick movement and boom, he touched someone's nuts. So I don't think it was intended. I really don't. I don't think that was really even warranted. But the fact that you run your damn mouth and talk so much shit, it's coming. They're gonna look at you like, oh yeah, he did that shit intentionally. He's mad because LeBron dug in his ass and whooped him down in this series, and he's doing shit intentional. You can't do that. And by the way, the way you can't shoot a fucking three, Dylan Brooks. I know we're going to get in the series, but I'm just saying, you better learn to talk your shit in Chinese because that's where you're going to be playing next year is in the Chinese league because you ain't going to be in the NBA, that's for sure.
Absolutely. And I agree with Kev on this because this was not warranted, but at the same time, it's not surprising because Dylan Brooks, time after time, continues to get himself into bad situations.
It makes it so worse is because he went on ESPN the next day, just a couple days ago, and said, the fans make me look like a bad guy. They portray me a villain. How about no, it's the way you run your damn mouth to some of the game's greatest for no reason. Last year, you ran your mouth to Steph Curry. You broke Gary Payton II's arm, and you say, oh, they portray me as a villain. You do villainous shit. That's why. I mean, this year, then you run to LeBron talking about he's old as damn dirt, and he don't respect nobody until he gives them 40. Well, you know what he's saying essentially? Since Dylan Brooks has never had a fucking 40-point game in his life, he's just saying he doesn't even respect himself. Jesus Christ.
And it's amazing how these young Grizzlies continue to give LeBron, who doesn't need the most, chip on his shoulder momentum type stuff anymore because he's done it all. He's won 4 championships.
That's their problem.
You're pissing off the wrong person.
They do. They did it in consecutive years. And I hate LeBron, but I'm the first to admit there's 2 organizations / people you do not give any kind of motivation to. And that is the Golden State Warriors dynasty, which they did last year in the playoffs, and LeBron James. You just don't do it because it will bite you in the ass in both occurrences, and it has. Last year, they got their ass whooped 2 straight times by Golden State and to end the series because Dylan Brooks wanted to give a little extra motivation. And then now this year, LeBron's out there getting 20 and 20 on your face and hitting the game winner on you to put the game away in overtime. Good job, Dylan Brooks.
I mean, it's remarkable how LeBron, as much shit as we give him on this show, we call a spade. We call it like we see it. LeBron is taking all the momentum that the Grizzlies are giving him and his teammates, and they are playing team basketball. I mean, Austin Reeves has had 2 phenomenal games in this series against Memphis. 20-plus points. Where the hell is the Grizzlies role players? They ain't doing a damn thing.
Nothing.
They're not showing up.
Before we move on any more news, I forgot. We do have a video from our very own Joey Thornton.
Yes, we do.
Yes, he talks about what we talked about previously, the Aaron Rodgers trade and, of course, the NBA stuff we're going to get into, especially the series. We're going to get into that in just a few minutes. But before we do, let's go ahead and let's go to the live video. I got it, Steven. I'll play it. So give a second. All right, here's a video from our very own Joey Thornton about the topics we're discussing tonight on our Nation Sports Show. Enjoy.
What is going on, everybody? Hope everybody's having an amazing Tuesday evening. I hate that I couldn't be on the show tonight, even though I had another free night pop up on my schedule. But the reason that I couldn't be on tonight is because today was my wife and I's 4-year wedding anniversary. So I decided to take this night, really focus on her, and just us have a great time together. With that being said, I'm only going to talk about one major subject, which I'm sure is the highlight of tonight's show, and that is the fact that some very interesting news broke down yesterday afternoon into the early evening, and that is the fact that the Packers and the Jets have finally agreed on trade terms for one Mr. Aaron, or should I say, Karen Rodgers. Because once again, Karen Rodgers has proven that he is the ultimate NFL diva, and he finally got his wish by finally being traded to the New York Jets. And in return, or should I say the complete trade terms, featured the Jets getting Aaron Rodgers, the number 15 overall pick in Thursday night's NFL draft, and the 170th pick in the 5th round of this year's draft. The Packers got the Jets' number 13 overall pick, the 207th pick in this year's draft, a 2nd round pick in this year's draft, and a 2024 2nd round selection for next year's draft, which will become a 1st round pick if Aaron Rodgers plays at least 65% of the Jets snaps this season. So, with that being said, here are my thoughts about this trade. Aaron Rodgers has made it clear for a long time now that he wanted to play for the Jets because he went on the Pat McAfee show back in the middle of March and declared that his intentions were to play for the Jets. And that's where everything started. Because even when he was in Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers was a diva. He was asking for stuff that the front office couldn't give him. He was making these amazing requests that everybody was looking at him like, dude, what the heck is wrong with you? And Aaron Rodgers was just making all these crazy demands, and everybody was just looking at him like he was a big joke. And honestly, he's been a big joke for as long as I can remember, because he didn't do much in Green Bay. He won 1 Super Bowl title, and that was over 10 years ago. And now Aaron Rodgers is seen as a choke artist who can't even make it past the NFC Championship game without, bowing out of the playoffs, because Aaron Rodgers just doesn't have it anymore. But if Aaron Rodgers thinks that he is soaring to new heights in joining the New York Jets, who, might I mention, have a decent running back in Breece Hall, a decent wide receiver in Garrett Wilson, who was the Offensive Rookie of the Year last season, his former teammate in Alan Lazard, and on defense, the man who won the Defensive Rookie of the Year award in Sauce Gardner. But if Aaron Rodgers thinks that he is soaring to new heights to join the New York Jets, he might want to wake up and smell the coffee. Because Aaron Rodgers isn't going nowhere in New York. He's not. Because the AFC is a far, far more competitive division. Because he is now in a league that consists of Justin Herbert, an up-and-coming Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. Dude, you may think you were the best quarterback in the NFC, but you weren't. And if you think that you're the best quarterback in the AFC, dude, stop laying off the drugs and face the reality. You're not going anywhere in New York because, for one thing, the Jets do not have an offensive line. So, how is Aaron Rodgers expecting that he is going to be the face of that Jets franchise if he does not have an offensive line to back him up? And I would love to see Aaron Rodgers try to scramble. Even though Rodgers hasn't been much of a scrambler, I would like to see him scramble against the defenses of the Chargers, the Dolphins, even the Bills, because they will rock his butt faster than he can blink an eye. So, long story short, Aaron Rodgers is not the answer for New York. He is a major bust who hasn't amounted to anything, and if Aaron Rodgers thinks that being in a darkness retreat for 4 days gave him the answers, then I'm sorry, but you got a lot of work to do, brother. Because you may have been in that 4-day darkness retreat, but come football season, you're going to be in a 4-month darkness retreat because you ain't going to be seeing the light in New York, especially playing for the Jets Jets. But those are my thoughts. Hope you guys have a great rest of the show. And again, like I've said in various weeks, I will be back full-time very, very soon. Not sure exactly when. But until then, peace and enjoy the rest of the show. I'm out.
And that was Joey Thornton there with his thoughts. And I mutually agree with his thoughts. And
Yes.
I thought I heard him say the Commanders were willing to take on Zach Wilson.
he did say that.
That's what I got from that video.
Yeah. You know what? They also said, man. They also said they want Kyler Murray as their number 1 QB.
Number one, yeah, number 1 QB that's under 5'11".
He's under 5'11" and number 10 in the world on Modern Warfare 2.
Jesus.
Maybe he'll make the cut. Ha
Ah.
Very clever.
Yes, sir. Yes, very much so. Thank you for recognizing my talents. But yeah, back to the NBA stuff real quick. Before we get into the actual games themselves, real quick, news wise. Really, it's actually it's pretty much it. Oh no, wait. There was something on NBA on the NBA's front page. That's right. Let's see, 1 second here. Oh yeah. A player right here, the De'Aaron Fox will play in Game 5 despite dealing with a fractured finger. His left index finger was fractured, suffered a avulsion fracture in the fourth quarter on Sunday.
Wow.
So yeah. Let's see. Kawhi Leonard, of course, has been ruled out for Game 5. Also right here, more of the awards were given out this week. The NBA Rookie of the Year goes to Paolo Banchero.
Hey,
of the Orlando Magic.
Well deserved.
20 points per game, 6.9 rebounds per game, 3.7 assists per game. He led all rookies in points and ranked 3rd in assists, 4th in steals, and 5th in rebounds.
Awesome. Well deserved.
Yep, congratulations to him. And I'm just gonna say Laurie M because I can never pronounce his fucking last name. He is the
Laurie Markkinen.
Laurie Markkinen is the most improved player of the year. Go ahead. What is yours?
I'm not gonna say nothing because he was come from the Bulls, so I feel you, Ezra. That's all right for him. I ain't gonna complain too much.
No. Right here, Malcolm Brogdon was named the 6th man of the year.
Okay.
Definitely agree with that. He changed that Celtics bench this year.
Oh yeah, definitely. And that's it for right now. And real quick, NBA scores, games going on right now. The only game going on right now, anyways, not until 9 Eastern. Right now, Atlanta's leading Boston 33-32.
Oh.
In the beginning of the second period. So let's go ahead and get it. Let's start with that. Atlanta, Boston. Boston leading the series 3-1. absolutely whooping Atlanta right now.
Boston's just too much. They're OP. They're overpowered.
Yeah.
They're about to end this game in 5. They're going to win tonight. They're going to get ready for the Sixers, and that's going to be a slugfest.
Oh, yeah. Can't wait for that.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be a slugfest.
And honestly, Philadelphia and Boston in the second round, that right there could determine who represents the Eastern Conference in the NBA Finals.
I know we'll get into it, but with the Bucks with their backs against the wall, if Miami puts them out, man, it Boston and Philly, the winner of that has a really good shot of going to the finals.
Oh, yeah. Minnesota and Denver play tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. And, of course, Denver leads that series 3-1. They're going to win that in 5, no doubt. Denver has been nothing short of dominant throughout this whole series.
I agree.
Agreed.
And another thing I want to mention is we talk about playoff Jimmy with Jimmy Butler. Let's talk about playoff Jamal, because Jamal Murray is absolutely, he tears this shit up. He broke the Nuggets record for the most 40-point games in the Nuggets history, as far breaking Carmelo Anthony's record. And this is only his 4th postseason. So, and he tore his ACL in 1. So, hey, Jamal Murray and Jokic is going to cause some problems out that way.
Dude, Denver has been absolutely on a tear. I've watched 2 out of those 4 games. Man, there's no stopping the Nuggets right now. They're going to tear through Minnesota like tissue paper. There's no doubt about that. And then at 10 p.m. Eastern tonight, it's going to be the Clippers and the Phoenix Suns, and Phoenix is going to look to wrap this one up as well.
You know what? I'm sick of Kawhi Leonard. I love his game, but it's always something. Every single postseason, he never gets hurt, but then you'll hear about he's hurt 30 minutes before the game. What? Then he's been hurt ever since. I don't get that. I'm honestly quite pissed off about it, because let me just be honest. Russell Westbrook has been nothing short of amazing in this series. He is literally looking like OKC Westbrook, and he has no damn help and Paul George has a legit injury, so he will get off the hook. But Kawhi Leonard, there's no excuse why you can't suck it up, get your ass out there, help Westbrook, because game 1, you took it to the Suns because of Kawhi and Westbrook. This would have been a great series if Westbrook had some damn help, because he's the only one out there doing everything. It's ridiculous, man.
And look, and I get it. He's got personal stuff going on. I get it. His sister just got sentenced to life in prison for first-degree murder, and that is something, very trying on the mind. But if you got, this is the NBA playoffs, and this is not saying nothing bad against people who are injured. Look, if you're injured, if you're legitimately injured and you're having trouble, yeah, of course, recover. But this is the NBA playoffs. This is the shot for your team to really step it up and bring it. And if you're not going to do it, you can't. That team, unfortunately, is a team that's a victim of only a couple players who are making the difference and not the whole team. And if you look at Kawhi Leonard, who, when he plays, he's effective. We know that for a fact. But when he's not playing, it doesn't seem like the team is the exact same team. And with that being said, with Kawhi out, this is not good for the Clips. They're going to get bounced out tonight if they don't get it together.
Yeah.
They better watch out, because they could easily get taken out by KD and Devin Booker and Phoenix. I mean, just Kawhi, when he is healthy and he's on that basketball court, he is one of the most dangerous multi-threats on that basketball court. Like, he can shoot, he can post up, he can defend. He's a very multiplayer, but I don't know, man. I understand, it's very, it's going to go to your mind about your sister, about, first-degree murder and all that stuff. I get that.
And if the injury is legitimate, a legitimate knee injury too, to add on top of that.
Right.
But this was going on before his sister was sentenced, though. This was 4 or 5 days before all that. He missed game 2. It just don't add up. And then I get the injury. Okay, I get it. But you know what? All I'm going to say is how hungry are you to win a championship? Because all I know is I see De'Aaron Fox with a broke hand, a broke finger on his shooting hand. And you know what he said? No, I'm playing. I'm hungry. This is a game. This is a series. I'm going to go ball. And then you
Think
have
about
guys
this, Kev.
and I'm not disrespecting or throwing shade or nothing, but Kawhi is just like, no. And we've seen him do this in San Antonio his last year. He's not in connect. I don't know. I just think it's time for the Clippers' great front office to just break this up. Keep PG, keep Westbrook, try to maybe go find somebody, man. I don't know.
Think about this. Any great athlete, right? No matter what time, what life throws at them as far as, either death or sentences in the family, as far as going to jail or prison or accidents or whatever, you use life's curveballs as motivation.
Yep, and I give you another example real quick. Andrew Wiggins had missed 2.5 months of basketball with his father terminally ill. And where is he at right now? He's showing his ass in the playoffs, being a very vital part of that team because he's hungry. I mean, I get personal problems happen.
I'm going hungry.
But I see Andrew Wiggins coming back, and I'm looking at Kawhi like, brother,
bravo.
got sentenced in prison, okay. But she can't be going through nearly what Andrew Wiggins is with his father, and he's on the court balling. So what's the excuse?
Exactly, because Brett Favre used his father's passing as you know what, he wants to be out there to be playing the game that I love. He would be proud of me, happy for me. Torrey Smith did the same thing. I believe it was his cousin or his brother. I can't remember.
Yep.
In 2012 with the Ravens against the Patriots. I mean, you have to use curveballs thrown by life and use it as motivation.
Yep.
Because your team thrives on that. And the Clippers are going to be gone tonight. It's over. I mean, they may get a game, but that's it. It's over. Kawhi Leonard is the reason why this team goes where they go and when they don't go. And for once, this is not on Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook's been balling his ass off. Well, Kawhi, he's the engine that keeps this team going.
Yep. Quick score update. Atlanta is extended their lead a little bit, 41-38 over Boston.
Wow.
Yep. Still early though. Still very early.
Oh yeah, plenty of time.
Yeah. And let's see. Anything else real quick? Nope, that's it. Let's get into we got to continue to the other series. Let's talk about the Knicks leading Cleveland 3-1 in this series right now.
This to me is not surprising, considering that the Cleveland Cavaliers only have one guy that they can turn to be their scoring machine, Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell is where, again, like with Kawhi, determines how far this team is going to go in each of these games. When he's scoring the ball and at will, and he's scoring in many different facets of the game, team has a chance to win. But when he is struggling, like he has in the last couple of games, the Knicks have the Cavaliers' number.
You know what about the Knicks, though? The Knicks are showing out. And Ezra knows this, but Tom Thibodeau has a very good defense. He always has.
Very good.
Back in Chicago days, he always is going to be defended. They have done a splendid job on Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland. They have made their life horrible, made them uncomfortable, and the Garden itself had made them uncomfortable playing in that atmosphere. You got Spike Lee and company all fired up because they haven't had a home playoff win since 2012, I believe, with the Knicks and the Knicks and the Heat, I believe, in that series.
Yes,
that was their last home playoff appearance and home playoff win. So, hey, and the Knicks might end up getting past that round, and they might make some noise.
The Knicks, man, with the dual threat of Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle.
Oh man,
dude, they've been killing. I mean, look at the last game. Jalen Brunson, Jim Brunson had 27, 2, and 2. Julius Randle had 19, 10, and 4 with 2 steals.
You know what? I got to brag on Randall for a minute because watching last game Sunday, he was actually benched because of poor performance, and he didn't pout and, shoot. He actually said, you know what? You're right. I deserve to be benched. I got to play better. That's on me. I'm sorry, guys. And you know what? We've seen this in the NBA Finals with Draymond Green getting benched in that.
Yep.
And, he didn't pout. If you want to win, what you do is suck it up. You got to play better. You realize that, and you play better. So I think this coming up game here, Randall's going to play better. He's going to realize, yep, I deserve to be benched. Now it's my time to take over. And also, R.J. Barrett's been playing pretty fucking well, too.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Great play.
Yeah. Definitely. Barrett only had 7 points in that game, but the other player that made a big splash was off the bench, Josh Hart. 17 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 steal.
Them boys balling, man. And I got to say, Dallas, they should be fired for letting go of Jalen Brunson like that. God almighty.
Yep. And then, surprisingly, the Lakers leading the Memphis Grizzlies 3-1 in this series.
You know what? They should. They really should. I know I thought Memphis was going to be better, but these boys can't shoot their way out of a wet paper bag. And the fact that Jaren Jackson Jr. has no help on the interior to defend Anthony Davis, and now low, he's by himself trying to stay out of foul trouble because they have no size right now due to Brandon Clark and Steven Adams being injured. It's rough on them. And the fact that Dylan Brooks shoots about he's awful. He don't even belong in the China. Dwight Howard would beat him in a 3-point contest right now at this point in his career. Dylan Brooks. LeBron.
That's saying something.
I'm calling a spade for a spade. The Lakers supporting cat. Here's the difference. Neither team can make shots. Let's be honest. They're bricking everything. There's a bunch of bricks being built in that series. The only problem is the supporting cast. LeBron's supporting cast is actually playing good defense, passing the ball better, making plays when they need to be made, and John Morant's supporting cast is duh, they stink. So that's the difference in the teams right there. But the Lakers are doing their thing. Me personally, I might sound a little biased, but I'm not going to say this. I just think because the winner of that series is going to take on Sacramento or Golden State, they got to start making shots because you're not going to outshoot Golden State and Sacramento shooting like that Lakers and the Grizzlies have, because Sacramento and Golden State are number 1 and number 2 in the NBA in offense. So they're going to run circles around the 3-point line if they don't get it together and make shots. Not necessarily LeBron. He's doing what he's got to do to be 38 years old. And you know what? I hate LeBron. I'm not a LeBron fan. He's always an excuse guy. But to watch him dominate in some of these games, you better soak it all in, like JJ Redick says, because there's not too many more playoff runs that you're going to see LeBron dominate like that. And you're not going to see the level of play that LeBron James and Steph Curry are at right now at age 38 and 35 respectively is absolutely insane to see what they're doing in these playoffs. Just like JJ Redick said, enjoy it.
LeBron last night, for the first time in his Hall of Fame playing career, a 2020 game.
Well, like Shaq said, Dylan Brooks said something about you don't respect somebody that puts 40 on you. Well, hell, LeBron had 20 and 20 rebounds. 20 plus 20 is 40. He done dropped 40 on your head, Brooks. Respect that now. Barbecue chicken, like Shaq says. Barbecue chicken.
Maybe Dylan Brooks is mad. Maybe Dylan Brooks is going to be mad at Shaq. You know that, right? He's going to end up being mad at Shaq for those comments. Because it's either that or it's because he didn't get it discount on his insurance from the general.
And you know what? It really struck me watching this series, going back to, I don't know if you guys watched it, the Volume on YouTube. It's a really good podcast show. If you got the Richard Sherman show for the NFL and the Draymond Green show for basketball. Draymond Green had some choice words for Dylan Brooks after he tried to say he hates Draymond and Draymond's not good, this and that. So Draymond went to his podcast, of course, like he tends to do, and said, bro, who are you? Listen, he said, the Memphis Grizzlies dynasty is not going to start until they get rid of you. They win in spite of you. you are holding that team back. You have no championships. You have no accolades, no all-star appearances, nothing. And you're running your mouth like a little chihuahua, and you're nothing. He said, "What?" He said, "I'd be mad too if I done won 4 championships and then eliminated you in 3 out of the 4 that we won. But you know what? That's okay." I said, "Damn." And he also said that, like he said, that Memphis is losing because of Dillon Brooks. He runs his mouth, and then he doesn't play good enough defense, and then he can't make a damn shot. So it's all coming to fruition right now for the Memphis Grizzlies.
And the fact that he said, I don't respect LeBron, 40-point game, can't do it. Oh, yeah, he dropped 40 on you, all right, a 2020 game, and his mouth, as the Undertaker said to The Rock, your mouth is writing checks that your ass can't cash. And the fact that Dillon Brooks, once again, continues to put himself in these positions where every team is noticing, like, okay, here's this guy that runs his mouth, so we're going to go at him. We're going to get in his head. And that's what the Lakers have been doing in this series, just like the Golden State Warriors did last year. These players continue to get in Brooks' head, and he can't shake the pressure.
Nope. Can't make a shot. He's shooting 4 of 22 from the series. He's shooting less than 25%. Come on now.
Horrible.
It stinks. Like the guy in SpongeBob says, "Oh, brother, this guy stinks." Because that's exactly Dillon Brooks. It's bad to watch. Bad basketball.
I mean,
and I got to say too, while
every time Dillon Brooks talks shit and he gets caught, it's like the thing in SpongeBob. How many times are we going to teach you this lesson, old man?
You know what, though? I got to say, Ja Morant, though, on like, really, you got to change your game up, dude, because you're going to get hurt. You're going to end up like Derrick Rose, unfortunately, and it's all unfortunate.
I had something right there, but I'll say it.
Out the gym, taking these hard falls because you're lucky you didn't break your fucking wrist in game 1 when you came down, go off a wild jumping out the gym trying to catch yourself, and then your wrist slips and you snap it and it snaps back. You're lucky you didn't break your wrist. You got to change your game up, dude. You got to learn how to hit shots. You got to learn how to damn do other stuff, because this athleticism it's not what it's meant out to be in the NBA. I'm telling you, because that's what ended Derrick Rose's career way earlier than what it should. I mean, he's still in the league, but he's not MVP Derrick Rose. And that, unfortunately, is going to end up happening to Ja Morant if he doesn't change up.
Oh, by the way, Dillon Brooks, I have a message for you.
Dummy, yeah. Dummy, yeah. Dummy, yeah.
I was gonna say it, but I'll say it anyways. On the other hand, Morant just needs to get better.
Oh, come on.
Oh. Well, all I know is,
that joke was more outstanding than Bam Margera's arrest warrant.
all I know is after this series, what's the head coach's name? Oh, Jesus.
Taylor Jenkins.
He's going to have to hit an L.A. night on him and be like, "Let me talk to you real quick after the damn series is over," because Dillon Brooks is going to have another job somewhere else, because I'd be done got that motherfucker off my team immediately.
Yeah. Dillon Brooks is going to get fired. And Dillon Brooks is going to be like, here. Dillon's going to be like, Dillon Brooks, yeah, we need to talk to you for a second. He's going to be thinking, that's what he's gonna be thinking. He's gonna be thinking, oh man. But and then of course we gotta talk about Golden State and Sacramento. Kevin, you know the drill.
Man, this is clearly the best first round series in these playoffs, because this is so wild. Every single game, except for game 3 where Golden State just played pissed off and they took control. But every one of these games has come down to the final possession or the final 2 minutes, and it is so much fun to see because this Sacramento team, let me tell you, these guys ain't no joke. This is going to be the future of the league, and man, De'Aaron Fox, this brother is amazing. Watching him play, watching these two teams play in the space and pace kind of play, it really reminds me of like Big Brother versus Little Brother, because it reminds me of this Golden State seasoned veteran team versus the 2015 Golden State team, with the Sacramento Kings being the younger team. That's what it reminds me of, because it reminds me of all the young vets in there, or the young guys who are really, really talented versus the seasoned vets who are really good still. And man, I'm just saying, Golden State now, after winning 2 straight games, and by the way, that game 4 was absolutely insane. I'm talking, this was box office to watch, dude. De'Aaron Fox and Draymond's defense shutting each other out. De'Aaron Fox come down, make a shot, come back down. Draymond gets a block on De'Aaron Fox. Like, it was fun to see, man. Fun basketball. Steph Curry showing out 35 a game in this series. He's playing like NBA Finals Steph Curry. And you love to see it, because that's, like you said, you got to love what LeBron's doing. You got to love what Steph is doing, man. These two guys are still getting after it at that point in their careers. But, yeah, Golden State, man, I think they didn't necessarily take the driver's seat of the series, but they're definitely – I think they kind of are in control of this series right now, with it tied being 2-2, because a young team like Sacramento, the postseason pressure could get to them. And you got to think, if you're Sacramento, man, game 5 is I have to win. It's win or done. You were done, because you don't want to be, as a young Sacramento team, you don't want to be going down 3-2 and Golden State pick up that one road win that they needed. You don't want to come back to the Bay Area in San Francisco down 3-2 to the defending champs in Steph Curry's building. That is absolutely, you do not want that. Your best bet is you want to go up 3-2 and them to win game 6 or play with no pressure and then get to a game 7. That's your best bet. But with De'Aaron Fox's injury that came out, he still has to have a split on his shooting hand, which is still going to cause him problems shooting the basketball. We've seen Kobe do the same thing with his shooting hand, and it messed with Kobe too, wearing that brace around his finger. So I don't know if De'Aaron Fox will hit as many clutch shots as he has been, but I think this could be the game Golden State actually finally takes it. And if they do that, I think I'm still rolling with my prediction, Golden State in 6. I mean, but I can't knock Sacramento. Like I said, either one of these teams are going to work the Lakers in the next round.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. It's a hard fought series between the two of them, and then it could go either way. This is the one I said it could go to 7 games because of how good both teams are. It just depends on who makes the critical errors in the area that's presented. It depends on, will the big 3 get it done? Will the starters of Sacramento be able to put it together? It's going to be a dogfight. I see this, like I said, going 7 games possibly, and seeing who ends up being the better team.
I also think that the key turning point in this series, and feel free to disagree with me, but me watching Golden State, I kind of can tell it. And it was the bullshit suspension of Draymond Green, because that's their heart and soul. And when that happens, Golden State's coming out like a damn injured dog. They're going to come out swinging, and that's what they did in game 3. And it was predetermined in the post-game comments by Steph Curry. If you listen to him, you could tell they did it for Draymond. He said, well, they said, quote unquote, they said Draymond's got a pass. Okay, cool. We do too. We got a pass to coming back and winning series. So you know what? I think that lit a fire under their ass, because I also want to mention the ejection was warranted. Yes, I agree. Draymond should have got ejected, but the suspension, I think, was too damn much, because it's the NBA playoffs, and you got a guy in Sabonis who actually started it, and he's the one who instigated the whole thing. and you even tee him up for instigating it, but then you turn around and suspend Draymond. I think that was bullshit. I really do. Just like the James Harden ejection with the elbow on the offensive foul, that was bullshit too. These refs, let's just call a spade a spade. These refs in these playoffs with these ejections and suspensions have been absolute stupid. Like, it's been atrocious. Like, it's the playoffs, dude. I mean, it's just not warranted for the suspension. Draymond should have got ejected. Yes, you're right. He should have. But there's players around the league who were saying, yeah, I would have done the same damn thing. You grab a man's foot while they're trying to jump in the air. What you think's going to happen? Shaq even said it himself. He said, listen, was it dirty? Hell yeah. But you know what? Sabonis shouldn't have been playing them stupid games. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. You grab my foot while I'm trying to get down the court, I'm going to step on your ass. That come from Shaq himself. Damian Lillard, same thing. Paul George, all them guys tweeting, same thing. Said, come on, dude. Simona started it. Why suspend the man? Okay, eject them, cool. Flagrant 2, get it. I got it. But, and they're talking about, and I know Draymond's got a past, but they're talking about, oh, well, it's based off of his past flagrant 2s. So I did a little research, and JJ Redick did on First Take. His last flagrant 2 came in the 2016 NBA Finals. That was 7.5 years ago. When does a man's history wipe clean? I mean, come on, dude. A speeding ticket even comes off your record after 7 years. So when does a man's history come clean if he hadn't had a flagrant 2 since then? Yes, he's had a shit ton of technicals and a shit ton of shit talking, but still, nothing made sense about the NBA Players Association's explanation for the suspension. It was just bogus. But you know what? That right there is what made Game 3, them come out in Game 3, and we seen what happened in Game 4. When Draymond came out that third quarter, he was putting locks and clamps on De'Aaron Fox. He was blocking Sabonis in the last minute of the game and screaming to the top of his lungs. That's what I'm saying. You woke up a giant. When you piss Draymond Green off, you light a fire under the rest of the team's ass because that's their heart and soul. It's that simple. And that fired them up.
This series is so compelling on so many levels because you got the young guns and the Kings playing against a savvy veteran team in this Golden State team who have been anywhere and everywhere in the playoffs, that any team could imagine to possibly be in. And Stephen Curry, when he's on fire and he's hitting them threes, and when Klay Thompson's on fire, especially when Wiggins or Poole get hot, look out. Because, Golden State just has, when they're focused, they're a deadly team. And if I'm Sacramento, you got to take Game 5. Because if you don't, you're going back on the road against the team that does not lose at home. Golden State is vulnerable on the road, but at home, they are dominant. And Fox and Sabonis better bring their A game back at home. And the role players need to show up, because if they don't, before they can even finish blinking, Golden State could be up 3-2, just like that.
Oh, also, I want to point out, if y'all guys caught the last play of Game 4, the De'Aaron Fox to Sabonis, there's a bunch of that went wrong. And this all speaks about the inexperienced youth. First of all, when Curry missed a shot, me personally, I don't think the Kings should have took a timeout because De'Aaron Fox had the ball in open transition. I feel like they should have ran with it. And if you noticed in the past, if that was the Warriors and Curry's got the ball, they're running with it. They're not calling a timeout. They're going to run the floor and see if they can't get the defense sleeping.
Yep.
That's what they messed up first time. You don't want to get a timeout where the Warriors can get Draymond Green and the defense set up to plan out how they want the last shot to go down. That's what they did. They called a timeout. Steve Kerr was able to set up that defense how they wanted, trap De'Aaron Fox, make De'Aaron Fox pass the ball. And when he passed the ball to Harrison Barnes and he missed the shot, I like what Draymond said. He kind of dissed him from 2016, if you notice. He said, he was going to miss that. We've seen this before. Remember 2016 Game 7 when he missed that shot? Go ahead shot. We've seen Harrison Barnes miss clutch shots. I said, damn. Draymond Green throwing a little fire from the past. But he's right. I would much rather Harrison Barnes take that shot if I'm the Warriors than the clutch player of the year who's averaging the most fourth quarter points in the NBA. I would much rather see Harrison Barnes take an open three than De'Aaron Fox even get a shot on because he's that good.
Yep.
Yeah, real quick score update. Boston's up 66-58 at the half.
Yep. So
Atlanta hanging around.
So are we mutually in agreement that Denver and Phoenix are going to close out their series tonight?
Yes.
Okay,
I just think it's a pure shame that Minnesota, again, you gave up 1 million first-round picks and players for Rudy Gobert, who can't do absolute crap except he's 7'4" and rebounds a basketball. Yippee-ki-yo, who cares? Like, do something. This guy's like a walking stick out there, a walking tree. He ain't got no offense. The only thing the Timberwolves have good for them right now is Anthony.
He's like CD Lamb. He couldn't CD ball.
Yeah, he couldn't touch the ball. Hell, he couldn't even land that punch on Kyle Anderson, much less damn touch a basketball.
I've seen better punches landed in Jake Paul's fights. Jesus. Okay. Knicks and Cleveland. Knicks are gonna take them out.
I say Cleveland gets game 4 or game 5.
Game 4? Okay. Steven?
Game 5. I think they go 3-2. I think back into Mecca. I think New York closes it out at home in game 6.
Yeah. I agree. I think Cleveland takes this one and then New York closes it out at home in MSG, man. So, Steven?
Yep.
Yeah, I think the Knicks are gonna close out their series against Cleveland unless Donovan Mitchell just erupts, to keep this team alive. Other than that, I think Randall and the Knicks are going to close this out along with Brunson. I mean, Jalen Brunson, my God. Dallas, what in the blue hell? You get rid of all that talent, and Jalen Brunson might be the most improved player of the year.
Yep. But let me ask you guys this question, though. I seen this on Facebook today, and I know it's not likely for any of them, but out of the teams that are down 3-1, who is most likely to come back and make it a series or go to game 7 and win it? Is it the Bucks, the Grizzlies, the Cavs, or, well, at the time it was the Nets, but the Hawks?
I'm gonna go with the Bucks.
I got to too, man. Giannis is a champion.
Bucks are
He's
out
the
of all
top
those
5 player in the world. For
and out of all those teams, the Bucks are the most complete team.
Yes, I got to say the Bucks because, like I said, Miami's shooting good now. But what if they resort back to regular season shooting Miami, where they couldn't hit a 3? They were 29th in the NBA in threes. What if that actually comes back? Then the Bucks could win 2-3 straight. But
they could.
But win, though. I think it'll take them 6, but I think Jimmy Butler's going to give one of them game 7 against Boston games where he puts in 45 points and plays 50 minutes in the game, 48 minutes, and he just kind of wins it. I think I'm going to go with the Heat on that one.
Okay, what about Lakers and Memphis? Lakers going to take that one?
I think Memphis gets game 5 in Memphis.
Okay.
I think they do it. Because Anthony Davis has played absolute like crap. So I think John Morant has a good game and takes that one.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go that route as well.
I think it's going to be some drama in game 6, though, but I think the Lakers are going to handle their business. I'm going to say overtime in game 6, just like game 4.
Okay. What about Milwaukee, Miami? Like you said, we're thinking we're going to make a comeback. I think Milwaukee takes game 5.
Yeah, I think Milwaukee takes game 5 and Miami closes out in 6.
I think Jimmy G's going to have a little bit of a cool off tonight after that game the other night.
Yeah, he's not dropping 56 again. That was historical. I think
we're going to get one of these. For some reason, what really shocked me in this game about the Bucks collapse was they couldn't do nothing. They couldn't dribble the ball. They couldn't pass the ball. They couldn't shoot the ball. They couldn't play defense. They forgot how to run around. They was running into each other. They were just all out of whack. I'm really shocked about that. But I think they do get game 5, but I think Miami has it in 6.
Okay.
I think Butler closes them out in 6.
Yep, I think so too. Okay, here we go. Golden State, Sacramento.
You know what? I'm going to call it. Golden State in 7.
Yeah, I said in the beginning it would be Golden State 7.
I said Golden State in 6. I was a little worried after the first 2 games, but I'm going to stick with my opinion just for the simple fact that Fox, if it was a healthy Fox, I could say, yeah, Golden State in 7. But how bad is his shooting going to be? Because if his shooting's not there and Steph and Clay catch fire, they could steal a game 5 on the road. And if they
So
steal
what?
that,
So what does the Fox say?
In Chase Center. So
So
I
what-
think I'm going to say Golden State in 6.
So what does the Fox say? Ha-ha! Stupid song reference, but still it works.
Boom.
Yeah, I still say Golden State 7. I think I'm gonna go Golden State take this one. Steven, you agree?
Yes.
Okay. I think that pretty much puts a button on the NBA for tonight. The half hasn't started yet, so we're still waiting on that to begin. So real quick, I want to go over right now we get the NHL playoffs going on right now. Right now there's a game going. Right now we got Carolina Hurricanes taking on the Islanders. Carolina leads the series 3-1. They're down 2-1 in the second period. Dallas Stars beat the Minnesota Wild today 2-0. They're tied in that series. Tonight at 9:30 Eastern, it's going to be the Edmonton Oilers and LA Kings. They're tied at 2 apiece. Boston, the Bruins are leading series 3-1 over the Florida Panthers. Rockies are leading the Kraken or tied with the Kraken 2-2. Tampa Bay Lightning are losing the series against the Toronto Maple Leafs 3-1.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen.
Wow. And then the Rangers and the Devils are tied at 2 apiece.
You know, Scotty's tuning into that.
And the Vegas Golden Knights are beating Chris Jericho's Winnipeg Jets 3-1 in the series.
Mm.
You know what they should do to pump the crowd up?
What?
Sing Judas.
Yes. Agree.
But that's where we're going. That's where we're going right now with that. So on the NHL front, that's where everybody stands. I really don't have any news in that, but I can go to MLB real quick. Go through some score updates right now on their front. Top of the 8th right now. Red Sox are leading the Orioles 7-1. 2 runners on the corners, 1 out. Pirates are leading the Dodgers 7-5 in the top of the 8th. Houston, the Astros are blanking out the Tampa Bay Rays 5-0. Rangers are beating Cincinnati right now beating them 6-1 in the middle of the 8th. Mariners are beating the Phillies 5-2. Toronto Blue Jays are crushing the White Sox 6-0 in the top of the 6th. Boo. The Nationals are leading the Mets 2-0 in the getting ready to start top of the 6th. The Braves, Joey's team, are beating Miami Marlins 4-1. At the end of the third inning, the Cubs are leading the Padres 2-0. Yankees are down 2-1 against the Twins. Lions are up 4-1 against the Brewers in the bottom of the 3rd. And then later on tonight, we got the Oakland A's taking on the LA Angels of Anaheim. Speaking of that, real quick, it was announced the other day that that they announced that there is going to be a $2.1 billion stadium that is going to be built in Las Vegas for when the A's relocate.
Oh, and I know our very own video
Hijacker.
production guy and the guy who runs our videos, Hijacker Mike, also for the Nation's Corner. He's gonna have a lot to say eventually when he gets the free time to come on here and talk about this movie, because I know
very busy man.
Pissed.
He's pissed, yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be a hot topic for him. We're gonna get into that with him whenever he decides to jump on. The Kansas City Royals tonight take on the Diamondbacks. Cardinals take on the Giants. The Colorado Rockies beat Cleveland 5-1 earlier today. So those are your MLB Scores also real quick. Justin Verlander is going to start his rehab. Going to have a rehab start on Friday for the Mets. Reynolds and the Pirates have agreed to a contract extension. Good news for the Cubs. Kyle Hendricks has begun his rehab assignment after he public. And then definitely want to give a note to this also. I'm trying to remember his name from the White Sox. Trying to remember his name from the White Sox, who made a very positive announcement. All right. Okay, Liam Hendricks. He announced on social media last Thursday that his battle with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma is currently in remission, and he is now cancer-free.
Good.
Which is great, which means hopefully we can get him back relatively soon because he's a big integral part of the White Sox pitching core. So good to hear that Liam Hendricks is going to be okay. He's cancer-free, and hopefully he'll return to the team very, very soon. But I think that's pretty much all I have for tonight on sports. Any of you guys want to jump in on anything before we call it a night?
I think I'm good. I think I'm good.
All right, let's wrap it up a little early tonight. Final thoughts, Kevin. You're good. You're up, bud.
All I'm gonna say is fuck LA. Go Warriors. Yeah, but really. Yeah, I hope everybody had a good show. Good night, and a good rest of the week, and enjoy some good playoff basketball, good baseball, anything going on at your local place. Just enjoy some good sports, man. That's all I got.
All right, man. Steven?
Great show with you guys talking about the world of sports, and it's going to be rather interesting to see where we end up in the next week or so with these series and where they stand, and we'll be recapping all of the latest action from the NBA playoffs as round number 2 for some of these series will begin next week, and we shall see who will advance to the semifinals next week. Very interesting to see what happens. I mean, this Golden State series with Sacramento, could swing either way. And be interesting to see, can the Bucks, can Atlanta somehow, can the Grizzlies somehow, can they get back in the series? We shall see. But we will be recapping about that stuff next week. And you can follow us on Twitter at @ON_sports show, Facebook.com/Nation Sports Show, and also where we are live on most Tuesday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, 4 p.m. Pacific time at YouTube.com/Our Nation Sports Show. And also don't forget to follow the Nation's Corner on Twitter at Nation's Corner. Everywhere else on YouTube, Instagram, it is at the Nation's Corner. And be sure to check out the guys and gal this Saturday as they recap the week in professional wrestling. And with that being said, as I wrap this up, my friend.
Absolutely. And speaking of professional wrestling, there was some news that broke today, some awesome news, and that is that Kylie Ray and her husband, Isaiah Velasquez, have announced that they will be expecting their first child together. So congratulations to Kylie and Isaiah for the awesome news. That is amazing. Congratulations. I know Kylie's been through a lot as a person and all that, and it's good to see something good. Hopefully the baby comes out healthy, she's healthy, and everything turns out good for them. So congratulations to Kylie and Isaiah on that. Outside of that, I'm good. So hope you all have a great weekend. We got enjoy the sports. We got a lot to talk about on that front. So we'll have that next week. So with that being said, for Kevin Rory, for Joey Thornton, for Big Stevie Wyand, and for our buddy in spirit, of course, Mr. Randy Gyron, I'm Ezra Vickery. We'll see you right here next week for another great edition of Our Nation Sports Show. Take care, everybody. Have a great week, and we will see you all next Tuesday, same time, same YouTube channel. Peace out. Have a great night, everybody.